Still struggling with those hips and some low back pain? Well, today we're going to be working all with a chair. Today's flow is going to include a chair, so whether it's a kitchen chair, a folding chair, which I'm going to be using, or any kind of chair, as long as it doesn't have wheels, it's going to work for today. Let's get started. Hello and welcome back. My name is Inga Bentley, and today's flow is going to be all focused on the low back and the hips and how to use a chair really to support your practice. So I'll have you take your chair and just kind of set it off to the side. We're going to do a little bit of glutes and core just to get warmed up here. So we'll get started laying down on our back. Walk your heels in towards your sits bones. I want you to cup your hip bones and then bridge your hips up here into a low bridge. And then really hug the hips here together. As you do this, we're setting the pelvis into a neutral position, squeezing the glutes together, and then really starting to firm through the thighs. So I want you to hug in just a little bit more here and breathe. Big breath in, big breath out. Now, if you have a back and your hips are feeling a little tender, you can always slide it right underneath your low back. Or otherwise, what we're going to do is hug the hips in, and we're going to slowly walk our right foot into the center of the mat and hover the left leg up. Pause here for a moment. Don't tip into your pelvis. Push into your glutes, and then bring your left leg down, and we'll pick up our right leg. Just getting into center. We're going to march from side to side, keeping those glutes lifted, keeping the back lifted, and really starting to work those hip movement. Yeah, so we're just trying to work the hip and the pelvis. We'll do 3 more. We'll go to the left, and then to the right, and then we're going to pause again here. And again, if you have that block underneath you, you can always take a textbook too here too. We're going to turn the knee so it comes outward, and you're externally rotating your hip. Then turn your knee back in, cross the right knee across your body, keep your glutes on, and then we'll open and we'll close. 2 more, open and close. Last one, open and close. Put that left foot down and then pick up the right. We're going to do the same thing. So external and then internal rotation here. Don't drop your hips. External and internal. External and internal. 1 more here. External and internal. Put that foot back here for a second. Reset through the pelvis. Really lengthen through your low back and then lower your hips all the way down. Your glutes should be burning. Your hips should be starting to warm. Let's do 1 quick set of core here. Hands come up behind your head. Elbows point up towards the sky. Take a deep breath in. Nod your chin to your shoulder blades. Firm your belly down and really feel your abdomen engage. Inhale and lower. Exhale, lift, come up and hold for a second. We're going to pick up that left leg and draw it into our chest. While we're here, curl up a little bit higher towards that left leg. Put your left leg back down. Inhale and lower. Lift, bend the right leg in, and then curl that right leg. Firm your abdomen in. Put the foot back down. Inhale and lower. 2 more. Lift, come up and hold. Bring the left leg in, and then externally rotate the hip here. Keep the core engaged. Curl up a little bit higher, and then internally rotate. So you're bringing the foot in towards the inside of the body. Bring the leg back to center. Put the left leg down. Inhale and lower. Lift, come up and hold. Right leg bends in. Externally rotate. Curl up here. Breathe. Feel that hip and external rotation, and then internally rotate the hip. Come up just a little bit higher. Bring the leg back through center. Inhale and lower. 1 more time, just like this. Exhale, lift, come up and hold. Pick up that left leg, and then I want you to open and close your hips. Keep your pelvis neutral, and then feel your hip joint moving as we do this. Curl up a little bit higher. 3, 2, controlled movement. 1, put the left leg down. Inhale and lower. 1, lift, come up, hold. Firm your belly down. Curl up, right leg lifts, and then open and close the hip. And you can move as quickly or as slowly as you want. Keep the pelvis neutral as you just move that hip joint. 2, 1. Awesome. Put the leg back down. Inhale and lower. Great job. Bring your knees into your chest. We'll get a nice big hug here. Nice big flexion of the hips, and then drop over to the right and really reach through those left fingertips. Breathe. Big breath in. Big breath out. And then let's do the other side. Come back to center, and then all the way over to the left. Center, and let's come all the way up and over, and we're going to grab this chair. I want you to turn the chair so it's you, and again, you can use a kitchen Here, if you don't have a chair available, you can also here. But stand pretty far from the chair. Open up your feet as wide as your mat. And then you're going to bring your hands to the chair here. Back just a little more. And if you feel tender here, or if you feel any kind of pain, you can also move closer to the chair here. So feet open, lean forward, and we're going to keep the legs straight, but we're going to sway from side to side. Yeah, and what you should feel is everything from your tailbone all the way down the backs of your legs because you're leaning back into your heels here, breathing. Big breath in, big breath out. Keep your belly hugging in here, really using this chair to get into the backs of the legs, maybe even getting into the lower back here, getting a little bit into those hips. Awesome. Big breath in, big breath out. 2 more just like this. A little bit of a different kind of flow here today. We're going to press ourselves up and then slide your right foot forward here. And we're going to start with the left foot as close as we can to the outside edge of the right foot. So my legs are in crisscross here. And then if it feels okay, you're going to lean back here. Bend a little bit into your right leg. Keep the left leg straight. Maybe you can lower down to your forearms and feel this really big stretch all the way down that left leg and breathe. Again, you might feel this in your low back. Keep the spine really tall. Try not to round here. So if you have to walk up to your hands, that's okay. If you feel really good, you can also turn the chair around and work yourself a little bit lower. Yeah, and this is a great workout that you can do at work or when you're out anywhere. It's really simple and really easy to do here with the chair. Maybe you don't want to lay on the ground in public or at work. That might be a little weird. And then we'll bring the left foot around and we'll do the other side. So right foot's going to come all the way back behind and then we're going to into this right leg, and then bend a little bit into your left leg and breathe. Should be a nice big stretch. Adduction. Movement of the hip across the back. Hip moves in a lot of different ways. And add an internal that low back at your back up. We're going to set the right foot in again. And then this time, take your left foot as much as you can. Stay up on the ball of your foot. And then turn. We're getting a rotation here. And then turn to gaze over your right shoulder. And you really want to squeeze your inner thighs here. And you'll feel this all the way down that left leg as you breathe. If it still feels okay, you can work down to your forearms again. But really focus on squeezing those inner thighs together. And you'll feel this all in your hip flexors, maybe even in your psoas muscle. And then we'll switch sides. So bring that left foot in, take the right foot all the way back and over to the left. Turn your hips as you go to gaze over that left shoulder and really lean back in. Then we'll bring together this time, and I want you to turn the chair around. So this time the seat is facing you, and again, if you need to be up a little bit higher, you can see on the back of the chair. We're going to bring the hands to the chair, open wider, if not wider than the mat, and turn your toes out. And we're going to just start to side lunge here from side to side, and I really want you to focus at hinging at your hip as you push your butt. So you're using the chair here for support. If it feels okay, you can stay low here in those hips, getting a little bit deeper here. But we're just finding this kind of turn from side to side of the hips, getting some abduction. So moving out to the side, as well as a little bit of external rotation of that hip. Awesome. We're here for 3, 2, 1. You're going to lunge to your right leg and pause. See if you can flex your left toes up towards the sky. If you can't, that's okay, and breathe. Push into this chair. Push your butt back a little bit more. Awesome. Then we'll come all the way up and over to the other side. So lunge into that left leg. Push your butt back as you flex the right toes up towards the sky and breathe. Awesome. Then come back through center. Walk the toes in here. And we're going to come to sit on the chair. So I want you to sit down. And sit at the front of the chair here. So you're almost on the edge, and then open up your feet really wide. So we're in a modified goddess pose. Sit up straight, and then notice, are you leaning forward? Are you hunched forward? Try to come up tall, and keep the knees tracking with the toes. We're just gonna breathe here. Maybe this is enough, or we're gonna add some side bends. So we'll take our gaze down, and then reach one arm up and over, just moving from side to side. It's a great way to man spread your hips open just a little bit more as you breathe. Breathing in and breathing out. 2 more each side. Last one. And then we'll come back to center. Pause here for a second. And then we're going to sit a little bit further back here. Walk your feet in. Bring your left ankle up and over onto your right knee. And then lean forward, so in a figure 4 pose. Notice, are you rounding again? Try to keep the chest lifted up. Flex those top toes and lean forward just a little bit more and breathe. Awesome, then we'll come all the way up. Put your left leg down, bring the right leg up and over, bring that ankle to your knee, and then lean forward a little bit here and breathe. Keep that chest lifted, core is still engaged even though you're sitting. I know you're probably thinking, why would I keep my core engaged when I'm sitting? But it is. All right, then we're gonna come up and we're gonna do 2 more poses here. So I want you to come back to face your chair, and you're gonna bring your right shin up to the chair. And depending on the size of your chair, it might be a little weird. You might not be able to get your shin fully across, but again, you can come to a couch. You can pretty much come to anything that doesn't have wheels. Lift to your left toes, and then bend your left knee. So we're coming to a seated pigeon with a chair. And if you can, depending on the height of your chair, you might be able to bring your knee down. You can also stay in this hovering state here. Breathe for a second here. If it feels okay, keeping the chest lifted, you can lean forward a little bit and get a little bit more into that hip. So this is true external rotation of this hip joint. Hips are going to feel really good after these 5 days. Breathe. All right, then let's switch sides. So lift that left leg, bring the right leg down, bring the left shin up, and then we'll kind of lower back down. And either stay to that heel or lower. If it feels okay, you can lean forward. If you want to, you can also pause the video and wait. Some people are busy, some people have a little bit more time. One pose might feel better than the other as well if you want to stay there if it feels really yummy and delicious. Whew. And then we're going to come back up. And then I want you to keep the chair where it is, and you're going to lay down on the ground now. So lay pretty close here to the chair, and you're just going to put your feet up the chair. Yeah, a little bit different variation here on like legs on the wall. You want your knees kind of right over your hips if you can, and open up your feet as wide as you can here. And we'll take a couple deep breaths. So you can bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. Take a deep breath in. And open your mouth. Another deep breath in. And another deep breath out. See if you can feel your hip flexors here. Maybe you feel a little tingly in the legs or in the low back. See if you can breathe into your hips, breathe into your low back here, and just take a moment to pause. Deep breaths. Allowing your whole body to just relax. And if you want to pause the video, you can take as much time as you need here. Otherwise, we'll start to wiggle our fingers and our toes, our head and our neck. And then we'll draw our knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big hug here. And then we'll roll to the side. Up seat. Spine nice and tall. We'll bring our hands to our heart. And we'll take one more big breath together. Inhale. And exhale. Thank you so much for doing this hip practice with me. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.